robot. So a lot of people have been asking me about motivation lately, and maybe it's because they see me as a motivated person, or just because my experience in sales and management, it's understanding the psychology behind motivation. And I really think about motivation, and it's really, you can be motivated by a lot of things. You know, you can be motivated by an external thing like money, or an external thing like nice clothes, or a nice house, whatever it might be. You can be motivated by an internal thing, motivated by the satisfaction or the feeling you get of inspiring people or being a leader, right? There's external motivations, and then there's internal motivations, and I think what's important is you need both to have that drive. What you also need, though, is you need a very strong and compelling reason why. And I think, you know, this last weekend I went to a leadership conference, and it really focused on shaping your identity, or shaping my identity, and it was awesome. It was life-changing, and I made some decisions and commitments at this conference that this next year is going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it. But it was like, one of the big things was following my inspiration, leading with inspiration, creativity, truth. I think a lot of people, their biggest problem with motivation is they're not true to themselves. They're not honest with themselves on why they're really working, or why they're really doing something. They're doing it for someone else's reasons. And when you do something for someone else's reasons, you're never going to get what you want. There's always going to be that feeling of lack, or that feeling of emptiness. Maybe you'll feel good for a little bit, but after that little bit, it'll disappear. That feeling will go away, and then you'll wonder why you don't feel motivated anymore. And that's the thing with motivation. It's really having something that you're moving towards, and having something that's pulling you towards that dream, or that vision, or that goal. You know, and I think part of motivation is eliminating the excuses that you make for yourself. It's eliminating the story of why you can't do something. You know, so many people in this world, they really want something, and they really want to go after something, or they really want to travel, or they really want to pursue a goal or dream, but then they'll tell themselves they can't because they don't have the money. They can't because they don't have the time. They can't because they're not good enough. And you know, it's like, what story have you been telling yourself as of late that's been a story that you've had for a long time? You know, and like, how long are you going to hold on to that story? How long are you going to let that story define you? Or are you going to let it go? Are you going to become someone else? Are you going to reshape your identity and understand that that story doesn't define you? And even if it's true, right? Even if that story could be true, if it's not serving you, why do you continue to let that story define you? So what excuses are you ready to give up? what are you gonna do differently today? And I really encourage you to really dig deep and be honest with yourself, because like I said, most people aren't motivated because they're not honest with themselves. They're not authentic. They're not real. So get real with yourself. Get real with what you really want. Get real with what your real problem is. Get real with your life. And when you do that, you're gonna see a massive shift. It's not gonna be about motivation anymore. It's gonna be about inspired action. It's gonna be about, running towards your passion, running towards what really matters to you. And I think that was one realization that I made this last weekend. It's understanding what really matters to me and why it really matters. I think so many people focus on things that don't really matter, or they don't really matter to them. Maybe they matter to somebody else, but they don't matter to them, and then they try to make it matter, but at the end of the day it doesn't. And then it's just this feeling of emptiness. It's a feeling of lack. It's a feeling of pointlessness. And that's not how life's meant to be lived. That's not why you're here. And really, when you find why you're here and you discover what you're searching for, and that's when you'll find the motivation. And sometimes people say, well, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know, right? I don't know is a big excuse in society. And you do know. Sometimes you just gotta let it find you. What you're searching for, it will find you. You don't even have to look. It's there. It's the feeling you get when you see something or when you're inspired. And it's following that. And when you follow that, there's no telling what you can accomplish. Thanks for listening. Hope this finds you well. Love to hear your thoughts on motivation and inspired action, and let me know how this helps you. Love you.